Batman Arkham City lives by a few simple rules. 1, the main objective is to feel like a badass at all times, and 2, being that it is illegal for women in this game not to be absolute smoke shows. What a gem. With all the recent set pictures about Clayface and Matt Reeves starting production on Batman 2, my little ADHD-riddled brain decided that this was the perfect time to dive balls deep right back into my childhood obsession. So before we peer into this demented little bat cave I call a brain, let's take a look at some background. Nice. That's nice. Okay, so when I was a kid, I was a huge Star Wars nerd. I didn't really care about any other franchises because I didn't have time to care. I was too busy reading Star Wars encyclopedias and imagining marrying Padme. With no prenup, by the way. I'm getting that whole planet. Anyways, my first intro into the Batman universe, besides me occasionally catching an episode of the Justice League, was Teen Titans. That show bangs, and I think it was a great intro into the dark and spooky world of Batman and its villains. So when I played Arkham Asylum a bit after it released, I was stoked. And I played through the whole thing. I was shitting my pants the whole time, but I still played. And that lovely little nightmare took my slight interest in Batman and molded me into my own version of the question. I wanted to know everything. And yeah, I was annoying as hell about it. So when Arkham City got announced, my blood went straight from my brain to my bat wiener, and I started getting hyped. And thankfully, my hype was well worth it because Batman Arkham City is everything a sequel should be. I mean, damn, it's everything a superhero game should be. And until the Spider-Man games, I think it was easily in the competition for the best superhero game of all time. But regardless of how good other games are, this game will always hold my top spot. And that's because of a certain lovable, deeply messed up orphan. I think that this is the first time in human gaming history that a studio actually nailed the feeling of being a superhero. And more specifically, Batman. I mean, Asylum was basically just stalking people in these seemingly perfectly Batman-sized corridors and hallways, and the amount of conveniently placed gargoyles was off the charts. Yeah, I get that that was mostly thanks to like 90% game design, but I honestly just felt like a bat chandelier. But in Arkham City, you feel more like actual Batman being let loose on an actual city, and you can really feel the difference. From the second you suit up for the first time, you just know that this Batman is built for this place and is about to be used to his fullest. Oh, by the way, I think that this is one of, if not the best suit-up sequences in all of gaming. This is how you make a billionaire putting on pants exciting. Chef's kiss. But starting off powerless and hopeless created a huge lasting memory for me as a kid. I actually spent hours just trying to find ways to continue playing as Bruce Wayne. I don't know why the hell I did that. I can't imagine it would be very fun, but goddamn did I try. Anyways, they start by stripping you of everything that makes Batman Batman. Well, besides his disgustingly jacked physique, smooth voice, and billions of dollars, but you know what I mean. At the beginning, there is no hero fantasy, and it perfectly sells the idea that this place he's been getting shoved into is way too far gone, and that the only thing that can fix it is a guy in a fursuit punching mentally ill people. But punching those mentally ill people is fun as hell, and they definitely deserve a couple of those. But every single moment feels like a lovely little step up from Asylum, and the devs dangled that right in your face. I mean, the very first Predator section is basically just an Arkham room, but then immediately afterward, you're unleashed upon the world and have to think differently. I mean, we're back to it, but just look at the gargoyles. The only ones in the entire city this time are used as vantage points. You can't just like camp on them anymore. And the gooners actually learn now. It's the worst. They became an annoying menace by the end of the game and really created a sense that they had adopted to my specific playstyle. I understand that it wasn't geared towards me specifically, but as a kid, I thought I was being targeted. But all of that is okay, because like I said, this is a huge step up from Asylum, especially the combat. You get more weapons, faster punches, and everything just feels fluid. Like the front of my pants after I see Poison Ivy. Every single battle with gooners feels hefty and satisfying. I know this is hard to believe, but I am a full-blown adult. And when I was playing this game, I literally started saying, bang, boom, smash, out loud. I mean, you can watch my streams. I wish I was joking. But anyways, now that we've talked for a bit about the Bat and his arsenal, let's talk about the man behind the mask and his journey through this messed up game of Bat-Cat and Bat-Mouse. From the second you boot up this game, you literally watch a billionaire get smacked in the back of the head with a metal pipe. Damn shame this is only a video game. And then immediately afterwards, you get to play as the guy who was just given CTE. But no gadgets, no mask, no money, just a dope suit and an earpiece that they somehow didn't take away. But honestly, the first time I played this through, it really caught me by surprise. I could not believe that we started the game so stripped down and helpless. But looking back, this really feels like the perfect intro into the whole story, and it gives you the idea of just how tough this battle and night are gonna be for Batman. And yeah, this story is rough on the guy. I mean, 3 missions in and he's been knocked out twice, poisoned, and Harley definitely did things to him while he was asleep. So yeah, not a stellar start for the Caped Crusader, but at least he gets to have one of the most badass suit-up sequences in all of gaming, before everything falls apart. And speaking of falling apart, holy flip-flop, Batman, do we need to talk about this city? First of all, what the hell is this place? You're telling me that the city planners thought it was a genius idea to wall off a massive section of the city and say, oh, well, I mean, I guess we tried, might as well give up, right? What? Who thought that was a good idea? How could a personal playground for the criminally insane ever go well? Also, where the hell did the citizens go? They tell me that another couple thousand people just got up and said, yes, please, Mr. Government, take my home. I don't get it, Gothamites. What are you doing? Wait, actually, now that I think about it, living in Gotham is probably an absolute nightmare.
So apparently they arrested the Joker again.
Execute him! So I guess that if I lived there and the government offered to buy me out, I'd for sure take that offer. All right, I can rationalize it. Rant over. Ladies and gentlemen, Bat Dog. Yeah, baby. He wants to be a part of the script. Unfortunately, I didn't write anything in, but we're thinking about adding some stuff. Should we add some stuff? He says yes. Back to whatever point I was making before that, this story is genuinely one of the best in the Arkham series, if not the best. I know a lot of people complain that it seems like Batman is just running around playing catch-up, which is not wrong, but I think that's what makes the stakes in this game so real. Batman is constantly up against the wall, having to think on his feet just to survive the night, and then on top of all of that, he's got to save the whole city to boot. And seemingly, the only thing that Bruce cares more about than saving Gotham is cracking Talia. But honestly, I don't blame him at all. If I got dropped into Arkham City, I'd give it 2.5 hours before I am covered in poison ivy rash from the shaft up. Anyways, this game also does something that Asylum never really touched on. Batman's absolute stubborn drive and attitude. When Arkham City Batman says he's gonna do something, he means it, and you better get the hell out of his way. I mean, there are so many instances in this game where Bruce flat out refuses help from other people because he knows he has a mission to do first. This version of Batman refuses to quit, and to me, that's what makes Batman Batman. It's his unwillingness to change his motives or ethos, and that's what they nailed in this story. Sure, Batman almost immediately gets poisoned and then has to chase around a bunch of clues to save himself, but ultimately, it's more of a story about watching Batman slowly fall apart, but still refusing to stop. He never breaks. He doesn't even bend. The worse it gets, the calmer he gets. Everyone else is screaming and scrambling and dying of clown-based poisonings and literal missiles, but Bruce is just like, And honestly, that's kind of terrifying. And that's why this story hits so hard. We're not seeing Batman win. We're watching him refuse to lose. The ultimate win in this game is Arkham City. Not only does it have its own style and life, but
holy Werner Von Braun, look at that wheelchair go!
Is this place pretty? Just like the women. Have I hammered that point home enough? I mean, you guys understand that I was bricked the whole time? As you traverse around Arkham City, you start to become more familiarized with its horseshoe layout, and by the end, you practically know every single brick that was laid in Crime Alley. Which is in this game, by the way. I mean, I guess it makes sense that they would put this place in the walled-off prison, because as a young child moose, I always wondered why the hell they would let this specific alley remain. Like, hey, maybe you should bulldoze Child Trauma Alley. Just a thought. But the thing is that this city is constructed beautifully. Every single building has its own unique style, and then each area gets its own theme. And that's mostly thanks to Gotham City's worst. Penguin turned the musty, crusty, dusty old museum into the most engaging exhibit I've ever seen. It's basically like Night at the Museum, but everybody has guns. Two-Face turned the courthouse into a perfect representation of my brain trying to decide if banging Catwoman is a good idea or a guaranteed death sentence. And Joker turned a boring steel mill into a family fun zone. Bring your kids, meet the famous Abramovici twins. Excuse me, former twins. Wait, actually, I guess they're still twins. But anyways, get ready for a new double act. But the feeling you get when park hopping between Jokerland and Penguinville is genuinely something that still sticks with me to this day. And yeah, again, that is mostly because of the villains you fight and face along the way. Every single boss fight in this game, except for a few, is an incredible and much needed step up from the bosses in Asylum. Not only do you have to think on your feet, but most of them use entirely new game mechanics that the series will never touch again. Which is a bold choice, but honestly I feel like it works here. This game makes you feel the weight of each villain's presence before you even get to put boot to ass. You feel their territory creeping in, like walking into Freeze's lair and the air suddenly gets 10 degrees colder, or hearing Joker's voice in all of the echoes of the steel mill while you beat the brakes off of some gooners. Oh, and by the way, I think that the Freeze boss fight is genuinely one of the most fun boss fights in the entire trilogy. The way that you have to change tactics is such a cool idea, and on New Game Plus mode, it actually feels like you are Batman with how many goddamn different techniques you have to use in your arsenal. But again, that's where this game shines. Every aspect just feels a little magical. It makes the city life itself feel like the true final boss. Every rooftop, every dilapidated billboard, every back alley where someone's definitely getting assaulted right now. It feels alive. It's not just a backdrop for all the villains, it's their bloodstream. And as you glide above it, slowly picking off gooners one by one, you stop feeling like an intruder and start feeling like you belong. In essence, Arkham City is basically a giant villain terrarium, and Batman is the world's angriest zookeeper. This MF would give Joe Exotic a run for his money. Arkham City has vibes so strong, I think they would beat Bane in an arm wrestling competition. This whole place just oozes this grimy, gothic, carnival energy. Like somebody gave Tim Burton a bunch of mushrooms and said, remodel an entire city block only using crime scene photos as reference. Everything here feels wrong in the best way possible. The perpetual snowstorm, the neon lights, the gooners in the street talking about the wife and kids that they beat the shit out of. It all builds this perfect illusion that the city itself is taunting you. And yeah, there's no way I was gonna forget about it. The music? Oh my god, the music in this game, it gotta be top 10. It makes even the smallest glide across a rooftop feel like you're entering the final act of a tragic opera. And yeah, that opera is about a man who has never experienced joy, but it's so unbelievably good. The music really lends itself to the overall theme, and it makes it feel like every single inch of this place is daring you to punch it back into shape. And somehow that just feels amazing. Overall, Arkham City is the equivalent of vibe soup, and I would like to bathe in it. When looking back at this lovely masterpiece of a trilogy, I feel like I always look back at Arkham City the fondest. The world is better, the combat's sharper, the villains are completely unhinged, and the vibes are immaculate. It's not just about being Batman and working through his story, it's about becoming a part of this collapsing nightmare snow globe, and mostly doing this. But that's what this whole game is. It's pure relentless stubbornness that holds back the apocalypse with nothing but fists and gadgets and a lot of spite. Overall, Arkham City taught me one crucial thing. If life's broken, don't talk about it. Punch it repeatedly. Then go cry in an alley somewhere, preferably with dramatic music playing. And while that may seem counterintuitive, I wouldn't have it any other way. Thanks for watching. Sorry about the little bit of a longer break in between these videos. YouTube decided to Gronk spike my metrics and Will Smith slap my engagement. So, but we're back. Anyways, we are still at the beginning of this journey here on YouTube, and I really wanted to say that every single bit of support really does mean the world to me right now. It helps me keep going forward, and it helps me get motivated to make more videos, and I couldn't thank you guys enough for what you've done so far. But our next video is a little bit of a doozy, so I want you to all to put on your bat mask, strap into the bat jet, and get ready. I'll see you then.
I love you.